To be honest, I had no clue what I was going to do today for a video, but just like that, God sends me down something that I've done every single year on this channel since I've started it, and I completely forgot about this, but I know draft season's coming up, but I completely forgot about the NFL draft hats, and the last 2 years I've either reacted or ranked the NFL draft hats, and this year I'm going to do a reaction. Back in 2019, I think it was, I was able to do a ranking because all those hats were so different. Like, none of them were even remotely close. These ones are all basically the same, fitting the same design. So ranking these would basically just be picking my favorite logo and my favorite color set, which we can save for another video. But let's look at these hats so far, because this is something that I love. The draft hats, I love every single year they come out with something new and creative depending on where it is. Now I'm gonna pull these up on the screen. Obviously I haven't been able to find a picture of all of them combined, so if I do find that and throw it up in the video, you don't know what I'm talking about now, but I might just throw single ones up and constantly keep changing them. At first, if I didn't know that the draft was in Cleveland this year, I would have guessed that this draft was going to be in Las Vegas, because the logo or the design, whatever you want to call it, on the front of the caps remind me of the Vegas sign so much that if I didn't know that this draft was already going to be in Cleveland, I would have guessed that this was in Las Vegas, no question. And I think that would have been really, really fitting for this draft, so I would have loved to have seen that. But obviously, it's not in Las Vegas, it's in Cleveland. And straight off the bat, just looking at some of these, I don't have a problem with any of these. Like, I think these are nice hats. One thing I do love is that they are snapbacks and they got the mesh back. I know if you look at the hat I'm wearing right now, I got the full back on. I'm not a real fan of these hats. I haven't been for a while. I just got this one. This was one of my favorite draft hats just because of the slogan on them. I love this year of draft hats because they are all just super unique in terms of each team putting their own slogan on there. And I got the Panthers one, 2 states, 1 team. I thought that was amazing. I could have got the Bears one too. That was Monsters of the Midway. That one was cool too. But I decided to go with this one. I just thought it was really, really unique. These ones, I love the mesh back. I love mesh back hats. If you see most of my videos, do I have my hat? My hat's over there, but I got a ton of mesh back ones and I love wearing those hats. So that might intrigue me to go out and buy one of these hats. But just looking straight off the logo, obviously you have the logo up top towards, what do you call that, a hexagon? You have the logo towards the top of the hexagon, and then you just have text with the city, and then you got the team name kind of in lower, smaller font, but you got stars next to them. One suggestion that I think would have really, really, really put these hats over the top is you have so much open space. If you look at the actual logo, take the logo for what it is, or I hate calling it the logo, whatever you want to call it, the design. You have a subtle team logo behind the text and behind the main logo at the top, just subtly back there. You already used the logo in the hat. What I would have loved to see here, put a city outline or put something that defines the city in the back. Like, that would have been amazing. Like, you look here, what team should I pull up here? Let's go with Denver. Denver was the one that I was thinking about, where it's a huge, huge miss, because you look at that. At first, when it was like the small little image, I thought that it was amazing because I thought that subtle Denver Broncos logo in the back was mountains or something like that representing Denver. I thought that would have been awesome, an amazing way to represent the city and the team, but it's just an upsized logo of the Broncos logo. And you already have that on there. You can barely see it, but I thought if you would have put some city things in, like, I think for the New Yorks, that would have really looked good. For all of these teams, Chicago would have looked amazing. Even for the teams that don't have those big glaring cities, like, let's say, what's a team that isn't like huge, like their city isn't massive? I'm just thinking off the top of my head here. Jacksonville. Jacksonville's city isn't massive. Put something that has to do with Jacksonville. Like, I know they're on the coast, or do something like that. Just do something unique that represents the city. Like, LA would have been an amazing one. You could have done a bunch of palm trees back there for the Chargers and the Rams. You look at, let's say, New Orleans. You could go, what does New Orleans have? I don't know, whatever. Even like something like, even if you put a stadium outline, like the outline of the stadium behind the text, I think that would have put these hats over the edge for sure. Let's go into some of my favorite of these. Again, it's really hard to say like, oh, some of these are really, really good and some of them are really, really bad because they're pretty much all the same. It's not fair to critique these like all and say like, oh, the Buccaneers one is terrible, but the Seahawks one is amazing. Obviously, I'm going to say usually the Panthers have my favorite draft hat, and it might just be because of the colors, but they just always blend so well together, and I just always love the Carolina Panthers draft hat, so I'm going to go with them as one of my favorite ones. Obviously, the Bears I'll go with. Even though I said Denver's was a missed opportunity, of course, with the backdrop, I think that Denver also has a really nice one. I think that Cleveland's is really, really nice because the brown kind of blends in with the dark color of the mesh and all of them. When you have teams that have like a lighter color and then it's just a really, really dark mesh color, I don't think that blends in as well. So I really like, a really, really light color and then meshing in with the dark mesh color, I think that doesn't look as sharp. So I think the Browns having the brown brim there and then you have a dark mesh color, that looks really good. And then you still have the orange popping off the hat. That looks really, really cool. Some of my other favorite ones I'll go with, I'm just looking through these quickly. I think that Los Angeles, I love the fact that the Rams went with their secondary logo rather than their main logo. Love that. Theirs is really, really nice. I'll go with, I'm just looking through these quickly. Like I can't find a picture with all of them, so it's really frustrating. I'm just on the New Era site right now, scrolling back and forth between all the pages and everything. There's not really any other ones that jump out to me. There's not really any ones that say like, oh, this one's terrible. I like the Pittsburgh one. The Pittsburgh one's actually really, really nice. Love the Pittsburgh one. But the rest of them, they're just draft hats. They're all the same and they all just look clean. Again, I said there's a missed opportunity here. They're not as nice as they could have been. They could have been a lot more unique to the city and everything, but can't complain with these. We have seen worse draft hats, of course. You look back to 2019, those were the most unique ones, and I love the courageousness of each team going with something completely different to represent their city. But there were some terrible ones, but there are also some great ones. I think that these are all just really, really solid draft hats. Nothing to complain about these. So that is going to be my video for today. I'll try to throw up as many pictures as possible of these draft hats. I don't know if I'm going to get one. Maybe when they go on sale. I don't see the point of buying them now because they're like $35, and in a couple months we'll be able to get them for like $10, so I might get one sometime around then, but I like these draft hats. So that is my 2021 reaction to the NFL draft hats. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Like down below, let me know some of your favorite hats, comment anything, and thank you for watching, and definitely come back next time.